Number 1. Your panic button breaks instantly. So, you're buried alive. That's not a metaphor. You're in a literal coffin, underground, and the dirt's on top. No phone, no secret escape hatch, and no Liam Neeson tracking your signal. Just you, the darkness, and your brain having the worst day of its life. First, your panic response cranks up to 11. Your sympathetic nervous system, aka your built-in fire alarm, starts pumping out adrenaline like it's giving away free samples. Your heart races, your breathing speeds up, and your brain goes, okay, we definitely die now. Except here's the twist. Breathing faster in a sealed box? Not ideal. You're using up your oxygen faster and building up carbon dioxide like it's your new personality. You're basically hyperventilating yourself into a corner with no windows. Then come the lovely side effects: dizziness, muscle twitching, and that fun pins and needles feeling. Your body is convinced you're about to sprint away from danger, but you're just lying there, like a panicked burrito. And then, when you don't die instantly, spoiler alert, you don't, your brain begins questioning everything. The lights are off, the air is stale, and your body's screaming, "Move," while you physically can't. Cue full-blown claustrophobic meltdown. Basically, your nervous system is throwing a tantrum in your honor. Number 2, you versus oxygen. You lose. Let's talk about the slow, awkward duel happening inside your coffin right now. You versus air. It's not even a fair fight. A standard coffin, like the ones you definitely don't want to think about, has around 800 to 1,000 liters of air inside. That might sound like a lot, until you realize your average panicked adult uses about half a liter of air per breath and breathes roughly 20 times a minute when freaking out. So, congrats. You've got maybe an hour of oxygen. Maybe. But here's where it gets spicy. As you use oxygen, carbon dioxide builds up. And CO2 isn't just a passive byproduct, it's a jerk. As it rises, you start feeling disoriented, confused, and dizzy. Your lungs start to panic, not from lack of oxygen, but from too much carbon dioxide. Neat, right? Then comes the splitting headache, the nausea, the burning chest, and that fun moment when your body really wants to breathe. But it's just recycling garbage air. It's like trying to breathe in a sauna made of farts and regret. Eventually you pass out. Not from lack of oxygen exactly, but because your blood becomes so acidic from CO2 buildup that your brain goes, you know what? I'm out. It's not dramatic. It's not instant. It's just slow, creepy suffocation inside your own panic chamber. Number 3. Dirt is basically a hydraulic press. Let's say you aren't in a coffin. Let's say you got the ultra-budget version. Just straight up buried in dirt, old school mobster style. Cool. Bad news. Dirt is heavy. Like really heavy. The average weight of 1 cubic meter of soil, around 1,600 kilograms. That's like piling an entire car onto your chest. And guess what? Your chest is not designed for that. With that much weight pressing down on you, you physically can't expand your lungs. Breathing becomes less of a life function and more of a tragic suggestion. Your ribs are like, bro, we're not built for this. And your diaphragm is screaming into the void. And no, you can't just dig your way out. Unless you're secretly a mole with a gym membership, the pressure above you compresses the soil around your body like wet cement. Every time you move, more dirt collapses in. So congratulations, you've created a panic-powered dirt trap. Plus, let's not forget, dirt isn't just heavy, it's unpredictable. If it's loose, it shifts and fills your mouth and nose. If it's compacted, it crushes you like a meat panini. Either way, you're not walking this one off. Basically, being buried alive in dirt is like being hugged to death by the earth itself, which sounds poetic until it isn't. Number 4, your brain tries to be helpful and fails. Now here's where it gets extra cruel. While all this is happening, the air running out, the crushing pressure, the total darkness, your brain still thinks it can help you. So it starts pulling from its toolbox of survival tricks. You might hallucinate, you might hear voices, or see flickers of light in pitch blackness. Why? Because your brain doesn't like being bored and terrified at the same time. It's like, hey, here's a ghost or two. Want to chat? Time becomes meaningless. Seconds stretch into what feels like hours. Your brain loses its sense of rhythm without sunlight or movement, so you stop knowing how long you've been there. Could be 10 minutes. Could be forever. Welcome to existential soup. Also, ever heard of the last gasp reflex? When oxygen gets critically low, your body does this freaky spasm, a desperate attempt to suck in air. It doesn't help. It's just your respiratory system glitching out one last time. In the final moments, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals. Some people say it brings peace. Others say it's more like a confusing light show in a collapsing nightclub. Either way, it's your neurons having their last weird party. Your brain means well. It's just terribly underqualified for this kind of horror. Number 5. The myth of scratching your way out. Let's address the most overplayed movie cliché of all time. The person who punches through the coffin lid, claws their way up through the dirt, and dramatically gasps into the night air like a victorious zombie. Yeah, that doesn't happen. First of all, wood is strong, especially coffin-grade wood. You are lying flat, with no leverage, no tools, and no room to wind up a punch. You're not smashing anything. At best, you'll bruise your knuckles. At worst, you'll break your fingers and still be stuck. Even if you manage to crack open the lid, congrats. Now you have an avalanche of soil pouring directly onto your face. Remember how dirt loves to cave in? You've just invited it in for a cozy facial. And say you do start digging upward. Do you know how many feet of soil are on top of you? Probably 6. That's 6 feet of densely packed earth you now have to tunnel through with your bare hands, in pitch blackness, with no oxygen, while panicking. Hope you've been training with prison escape squirrels. There are urban legends, like fingernail scratch marks inside old coffins, that suggest people once tried. But most of these stories are either exaggerated or misinterpreted. The reality is, by the time you're buried, you're not getting out. So if you're buried alive and thinking of going full action hero, don't. The only thing you'll break is your hope.